This is the trading review for Thursday, the 20th of July, 2023. Today was difficult as well, and I managed to be patient, and I managed to make it through the first session without taking a silly trade, but I missed out on this opportunity. Despite the fact that we had an inside day, we had the bearish pivots, and we failed to bounce off of S3, and we threw a nice doji with a nice hammer with volume for the 20 moving average. But what was important to see is that we were opening below value. We had a small gap, so that means that we could have continued to run down the gap instead of closing it today. We did open with a lot of weakness, and I could have taken the breakdown, but not really. And once we pulled back, we had this beautiful opportunity here for a short to continue the gap down for a beautiful run to 111, and then have a pullback here, and then add to our position. If I had access to level 3, I will be able to see that we're continuing to run down. But anyways, I waited and waited. I didn't take a trade on Tesla. We had a nice doji on the 5 minutes with a lot of volume, but it didn't give more than 2R or 4R in this trade, and then it rejected S3 to the downside. I could have taken a reaction of S3 as well on Tesla, as both of them were acting very similar. Tesla, I could have gone short here, I suppose, for a loss of the open price, for a run down to S4. So for an S3 failure, and the loss of the pre-market here is what marked the drop. But it is okay. I ended up on the second session around 11:45. I noticed that we were consolidating. This was not compression due to the lack of volume. So I saw this hammer on the 5 minute, and it wasn't at the top signaling an isolated pivot, but it was for me a signal of weakness. My mistake here was not making an entry at this isolated pivot. If I had made an entry here, I could have been able to go in with a reasonable stop loss. $0.35 stop loss, which is almost the top of this week, so it's a very good stop loss. 20 cents entry, and then just watch it drop, take a partial, and then add to my position here, and then just watch it drop, and then add on pullbacks. But instead, I decided to make an entry late. Instead, I should have used this as the top of the bracket to make an entry, but those were good trades, except for the fact that my entry was late and my stop loss was too tight. This price action was happening in value at the moment, so it definitely chopped me out 1, 2 times, 2 times, 3 times. And the fourth time, I decided to make an entry close to this range. So that's when I placed my stop loss here and made my entry here, somewhere around here, 112.97, with a stop loss at 113.15, which was this range. So I should have done that since the beginning. Or likewise, I could have waited for the 5 minute and make an entry once we drop this level, or the loss of VWAP here. I will stop loss of 113, This will be much better, but I jumped in anticipation. I think this doji here was best entry with a stop loss at this level. So I had a lot of opportunities to make a good trade, but I ended up messing it up. And I think today could be good practice, especially on this hammer, to make an entry on AMD and take full advantage of a move like this. But I guess I'll do the intraday review. So today this was an S3 failure, a gap down, gap short, so continuation of the gap short. Those were all the 4 trades for the continuation of the gap down. We did not execute the first trade. That one, this one kind of yes. It was weak. And this doesn't matter. It resulted in 5R. So we had to actually make up for all the losses that we had. And I got lucky in that regard that I knew that this trade was good. This was a gap short, gap short, gap short, gap short. No. Well, I guess I can just copy this. And we ended up making a we ended up making up our loss, my loss here, but I don't like the fact that it took me so many tries. The trade that worked out, I made an entry using this range as my stop loss because I could tell we were having a continuation to the downside simply because of the lack of participation as we were trying to break from VWAP, and lo and behold, that's what happened. But this entry here was ideal. And then we drop by partial at 3-1, around 3-1, and then at this around 112 for another 3-1 move from my first partial, and then we failed to go down to 111.68, which was my next partial, but we still but we were consolidating for a bit. This was scary, but I decided to add to my position, and because it had run a long time, I was able to add a good size, and we continued to run down. I added at the 20 moving average on the 2 minutes. I could have waited for the 5 minute, but sometimes it rejects too fast, and then I got out of my position at the point where I could meet my daily goal, but we actually dropped to 111 and beyond. We actually dropped to 109. But that was at the market close. So this move actually was very, very slow fade, but that was an excellent move, and I could have taken advantage of this entire move if I had more patience. But due to the amount of failed trades that I had, not because of the strategy, but because of very, very messy entries, that's what messed up the execution of the trades. But I did not respect rules today. My emotions were down as well, but I think I have a good cognitive state. I managed to read the market pretty well. Stop losses. Right, entries. And thesis adapted to market conditions. and remain objective despite losses. I did not meet goal today in terms of taking good trades. My execution was only at 25%. I took 4 trades. One of them was a winner, 3 of them were losers, but we ended up at 2R. So not good again, but managed to recover from the performance today by rethinking my terms. And I really do lament not being able to take this short. I guess using value as a reference point as to what kind of continuation we're gonna have, rather than too much emphasis on pivots. And I keep saying that over and over again, but it's just that I use pivots for so long in that way that the bias is really hard to get rid of. But I'm happy with the fact that I managed to recover from that performance. And here on Tesla, suppose I'm engulfing here. So I'm just trying to think of what to do for homework, but yeah, that's it for my trading review. Very rough day. I didn't break rules, but I didn't have the best performance. Well, no, I didn't. I did break rules, and I didn't wait for that important signal. But I managed to recover at the end of the day, and I think that's a very important event that happened. So tomorrow we're gonna look for more improvement.